Hey guys, in this video I will be going over the Manfrotto tripod that is used with the Canon XE15 camera. This type of tripod is a little bit less expensive than the ones you will find on more professional sets, and this specific kind is the Manfrotto MVH502A, which is more compact and lightweight. They are commonly used for XE15s, smaller video camcorders, and DSLRs. Now all tripods are operated in very similar ways, and in this video I will be showing how to set up and mount a Canon XE15 camera to this tripod. When you first open up the tripod carrying case, you can see that there is a Velcro strip here, and that's just to help hold it in place while it's in the bag. The first thing we want to do before setting up the tripod is adjust the handle so that it's not in our way. To do that, just loosen this thumb screw, and you can see there are teeth here that hold it in place when it's adjusted so that it doesn't move. So just put it in the position that you want. And then once you have it in the correct position, just retighten the thumb screw. Once we actually open the tripod legs, this riser is going to lower to support the whole tripod. In some cases, this is called a spreader, and these sections can become longer to change the height of the tripod. Each leg of this tripod has two stages or sections that can be extended to add height. There are these latches here that add frictions to the leg so that when the latches open, the leg can extend. These latches open really easily, so try not to use force or they will break. Remember that the initial height of your tripod should match the shot you're trying to catch, so just keep that in mind. This specific tripod has rubber feet attached to the legs. Some other types have spikes to help with stability on an uneven surface, but these ones are just rubber to help minimize movement. The top of the tripod here is called the head. On top there are some adjustment knobs that will help when mounting the camera. Directly underneath the mount there is a screw here that can be loosened to adjust the level of the head. The top here is shaped like a bowl, and this head can move in a circular motion for a lot of mobility. There is a lot of mobility to make sure that the level is correct so that the camera is parallel to the ground. This can also allow you to use Dutch angles, which is when the shot isn't actually level if that's the effect that you want. Up at the top of the head, there are a lot of controls and dials. This one here says lock on it with different arrows that point in a clockwise direction. If this is loosened in a counterclockwise direction, no need to completely unscrew it, it will release the lock on the tilting control of the head, allowing the head to move smoothly up and down by holding on the arm here. To lock it back in place, just turn the dial back gently and it will hold. On the other side of this head, there is a dial that says fluid drag system, and there's a plus and a minus sign for either direction. If this is turned to the left, the top of the tripod will be able to move up and down. If you don't want it to be able to move this quickly, turn the dial back and it'll create a slower, smoother tilt movement for your use. This area is underneath where the camera will be mounted. This knob right here is the pan lock for the head. If you loosen it, you can pan the head from left to right. And all you do is turn it back to hold it in place. This red band underneath is the pan drag control. Based on how you rotate this band, the drag for the pan will either be able to move very freely or have a lot of resistance. There is a little space here that says fluid drag system with a plus and a minus side. If this drag is all the way off, the head will be able to move rather quickly. The whole idea here is to adjust the drag so that you are comfortable and can get the shot you need. Now, before we even mount the camera, the tripod needs to be set to the correct height and needs to be level. This little yellow circle here has a tinier black circle within it, and there is a little bubble for the purpose of leveling the tripod. For the tripod to be level, the bubble needs to be inside this little black circle. To do this, keep one hand on the head and use the other hand on the level screw. Once you have a hold like this, you can align the bubble inside the circle. Once it's inside, you can secure the level screw. Make sure all of this happens before you mount the camera. On the top of the tripod head, there is a little plate that is currently mounted to the tripod that needs to be mounted to the camera. On the right side of the head, there is a thumb screw that loosens the mounting plate and allows it to move freely back and forth. The reason it can move freely is so that when the camera is mounted, you can adjust the counterbalance of the camera for your shot. So to mount the camera, you have to remove the plate. First, loosen the thumb screw so that the plate moves freely. Then on the back side, there is a little release latch. This holds the mounting plate in position. To take the plate off, hold down the switch and move the plate to the rear and it will come right off. To put the plate back on, all you do is slide it back until you hear a click, and then it can freely move again. Then to secure, just tighten the thumb screw. Now if we take a look at the bottom of this plate, we see that there is a label that says lens with an arrow. This means that the camera lens should be pointing in the same direction of the arrow. If the plate is put on in the wrong direction, it can get stuck and the whole tripod will need to be taken apart manually to remove it. So be very careful, as this can cause lots of problems. It really shouldn't be able to be put on the other way, as force would be needed. Taking a closer look at the plate for mounting the camera, you can see that the sides are beveled. This is so that the camera can be secured to the head and it won't slide around. This silver mounting screw is held on by a rubber stopper. This stopper can be removed and can cause the silver screw to get lost or something like that. So it's important that the stopper is kept in position. If you don't have the screw, the tripod can't be used. On this side of the plate, there is a spring-loaded brass pin. It is there to help mount the camera in a straight position so that it doesn't slide. Now that we have the plate and the camera separated, we can now mount the plate to the camera. Looking at the bottom of the XC15, you can see two holes. The first one is the unthreaded hole for the brass pin, and the other one is the hole for the silver screw. The best way to mount the plate to the camera is to make sure that the silver screw is closest to the brass pin as to match the holes in the camera. If you just line it up, you can insert the pin and use your finger, start to lightly rotate the silver screw. The silver screw needs to be loosened with something more than your finger so that it doesn't move around. This step should be done very carefully, as the camera is plastic and can break, or it can ruin the hole. So the best way to do it is to find loose change or the back of a key. In this case, I'm using a quarter, which can fit into the screw very easily. All it takes is one little twist. You don't need to do it hard. And now the mounting plate is secure. Now that the mounting plate is attached to the camera, it can be secured to the tripod. Remember though that to return this equipment, you need to remove the plate from the camera and make sure it's on the tripod, because not all tripods are the same and it could be paired with a camera that doesn't match. To secure the camera to the tripod, gently slide the mounting plate into the designated slider. And then you just have to wait for the click. Once it clicks, you know it's attached, and you can adjust where you want it to sit by tightening the thumb screw on the side. And now you have a properly mounted camera on your tripod for your next project. Thanks for watching.